Reinforcements have
Welcome back, Commander.
Reinforcements have arrived.
This mission, I started off by doing something goofy, which was basically just to send all my troops to the bottom right corner.
Reinforcements have arrived.
I find sometimes the game has a habit of tossing you in like opposite corners, so I figured I'd try that first. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, so it's not going to be included. What I'm going to try instead is go for the bottom left corner.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Acknowledge.
Unfortunately, you'll find quite a few of these like roving packs of light tanks.
Unit lost.
And because MRLSs are so squishy, it kind of happens that you're going to lose one or two no matter what.
Waiting order. Moving out, sir. Moving out. Vehicle reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Knowledge. Yes, sir. Unit. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Yes, moving out. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Yes, acknowledge.
Like, the only thing those MRLSs are good for is just clearing out infantry.
Waiting orders. Moving out. Yes, sir. Moving out. Unit reporting. Yes, sir.
Now, I never mentioned how much I actually enjoyed the previous map.
Yes, sir.
It's a temperate map, so it's easier on the eyes. There's not a lot that's hidden. The base design for the enemy is nice. Like, it's not impossible to ever try to attack, even if you don't take out the power. Other than the ton and a half of obelisks of light, SAM sites, it wasn't an issue with it.
Affirmative.
It also played really well. Like, it didn't take me like 14 retries. I think the only retry I ever had to do was just because the Commando happened to die, which is just an unfortunate circumstance of the unit and the fact that, demolishing buildings spawns units. That's not something that, as far as I know, the GDI version of the game fixed. I could be mistaken, but I'm fairly certain that it's not the case. So, depending on how you want to stretch the definition, the AI has 4 bases in this particular map. One of them, I guess if you want to call it an outpost, go ahead. But obviously there's one on the bottom left that we can see. The bottom right has one, and is, for all intents and purposes, the main one. There's one in the top right corner, and then there's where the actual objective is. That being said, the objective area it's only got the objective building, so it's not really a base. Still, the AI doesn't just swamp you with units to begin with, which is nice, and at least gives you the opportunity to, say, get a barracks up, get some engineers out, and make a better use of whatever buildings they have in play.
Building.
I don't know exactly what it was, but the AI was very intent on destroying my power plant.
Building.
It'll even sneak in a couple units later on just to snipe it.
Construction.
Not that it really matters or does anything, but it still tries.
Construction options.
And unluckily for me, I build a refinery right under an obelisk of light. So once you've taken out at least one outpost, you've kind of got a significant enough foothold on the map. All you have to do is turtle up a little bit, clean up a couple units, and then you can kind of reliably set like what the enemy is going to do in terms of like attacks and patterns. For instance, the upper left base is, I believe it acts just like the bottom left one, in that it'll produce a light tank every so often, maybe a recon bike, and generally is more about producing some flamethrower units to send your way in packs of 2 or 3. Obviously, like one guard tower is usually enough to like settle that being an issue. Every so often you also see some artillery units. They're not normally a problem. As always, I haven't checked the actual mission layout. I don't want to say it's harder to check the ones from the expansion. It's usually just more involved. Because I can open up like straight from a mix in the tool I'm using, but I can't pick which mix, and it defaults to the original game. So it ends up becoming something where I need to open up a file, find out which file I need, etc., etc. So when it comes to the Temple of Nod, I don't know if or what the triggers are. I don't know if they get a nuke. And if they do get a nuke, I don't know what specifically sets off them actually using it. I don't feel like I want to try out what exactly those triggers will be, though. Now, we know that there's quite a few obelisks of light in the middle of the map, so it's safe to say that that might be where the objective is. And as always, if you happen to be playing against a Nod player, their weakest point is their power plants. So there's not much incentive to ever take out a SAM site, especially since we haven't been given an airstrike yet. And, I mean, we can see all the different SAM sites around, so we probably won't get one. Kind of a shame that's still in there, to be honest. But, you know, I believe that's more a limitation on how, like, the rules are set up in the game.
Construction complete.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
Building.
I felt a little silly after the fact because I didn't really have an engineer on hand, so I have to make one. But I also didn't realize that it was just a matter of capturing the building. For whatever reason, I had in my head that I would not only capture the building, but then have to destroy forces on the map or something else. So I didn't just like bum rush the engineer into the building, even though I spotted with the Nod buggy. Also, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like the gold/yellow color for the Nod buggy actually makes it look like a buggy. Every time I see the blue one, I always think it's just some horrible mishmash of like it. Just like an ugly, really ugly sprite.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, I should be canceling the helipad and building the engineer, and then just rushing it towards the building, but I don't. I did notice that, you know, there's a couple units that keep showing up. So every outpost seems to have their own refineries, which means that regardless of if you destroy one, the AI is always going to have something to produce with. So, you know, you kind of have to pay attention to that if destroying everything on the map is your preferred goal.
New
Before capturing the tech center, at least.
Moving out. Yes, sir.
And the bases, as far as I know, are completely identical, aside from the bottom right one.
Waiting. Yes, sir.
Oh, and I had a video glitch again, so
Yes, sir.
unfortunately you won't see a cutscene after the completion, but it's the same cutscene we've seen in the previous video.
not built. Mission accomplished.